Hello, everybody watching me live. This is Vince Russo, and this is my series I finally got around to. And this is a new series. I promised you new content as I try to put really bad professional wrestling in my rearview mirror. I promise you new content. I promise you new shows. And this kind of has to do with me putting professional wrestling in my rearview mirror. Because first and foremost, I am a television junkie. And I always come on and say, I am a television junkie. I've been a television junkie my whole life. I've been a movie junkie. I've been a music junkie. These are all the things that we're going to talk about on this program. I am an entertainment junkie. I've said that all along. I was never a wrestling mark. I was never obsessed with wrestling. I enjoyed wrestling as a form of entertainment. Unfortunately, I got to the point where it didn't entertain me anymore. And I think the reasons I feel that way are obvious. I've stated them a million times. There's no more characters. There's no more storylines. There's no more guys that look like wrestlers. There's a lot of flip-flop flying acrobatics. And to me, that's not entertaining. It may be entertaining to some people, but it's not my cup of tea. But I always have those critics say, oh, Vince, you're bitter because they won't hire you, so you bury the shows. No, bro, that is not the case, and that's what this show is all about. This show is about Vince Russo, the television viewer. What shows garner my interest? When do I turn a show off? Why do I turn a show off? And then I kind of look at it from a writing perspective. So it's not a I hate wrestling thing. It's a I am not a fan of today's wrestling product. Now, the whole key with me diving into these series and these movies and the music I'm going to listen to, the whole idea is, can they hook me as a viewer or a listener from beginning to end? That's what this show is all about. Can they hook me? Can they get me to continue to watch week after week after week after week? If it's music, if it's a group, can they get me to buy their next album? Can they get me to go to a show? If it's entertainment, if it's a movie, do I want to see the sequel? Do I want to see what else that actor is in? It's all about hooking an audience. And that is vital in today's climate because we have such short attention spans. So that's what this series is about. I am finally getting around to the things that I want to get around to. And I started a series on The Walking Dead. I know The Walking Dead came out about 10 years ago, but I also remember everybody talking about The Walking Dead. It was a big to-do. My son Will was hooked on it. He was telling me about it. Now, I never watched this show because, quite frankly, I'm not a zombie guy. This is not a show that I would watch. I'm not really a comic book guy either. I know the show is based off a comic book. However, with the popularity of this show, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I missed something. I'm going to be open to watching everything. Everything. So I sat down and I started watching Breaking Bad. And I started going episode through episode through episode through episode. I left you guys off at around the end of episode 6, the beginning of episode 7, where I told you I saw one of the most gruesome scenes I've ever seen on television in my life. We all know the scene I'm talking about with Negan and everybody on their knees, and brutal. I thought they were going to lose me after that scene because I believe that there was no hope for the baby faces at that time. You literally castrated the baby faces to the point of them crying and showing their vulnerability to just being defeated. When you got a baby face that is just defeated, I don't know where you go from there. I mean, I've never in my life written a baby face to just get beaten down to the point of no return. But they just introduced this character, Negan, who was a very compelling character, very compelling heel. So I wanted to see the progression of Negan. So I continued watching the show. And believe it or not, in season 7, the show started getting really interesting because the baby faces were trying to mount a comeback, and they were bringing in other communities and other factions that the saviors were taking advantage of. So the baby faces were making some type of a comeback. We're seeing all these factions unite. It was interesting. And then they built to a very pivotal scene, which I thought was tremendous. I did not see it coming. And you know I am Mr. Swerve. And there was a scene in season 8 where the factions come together. We're going to go knocking on the door of Negan and his survivors and the sanctuary, and we're going to end this thing once and for all. However, one of the factions turned on Rick and his crew. So now, holy crap, we're doomed once again. But while that was a great swerve, this is where the show lost me, and I'll tell you exactly why. At that point on, for the next 3-4 episodes, whatever it was, it turned into warfare. There was so much warfare and there was so much gun battle. Bro, there were so many people involved. I couldn't decipher who was on whose side. A lot of these people I had never seen before. Everybody shooting at everybody else. I don't even know what the sides were anymore. All of a sudden, there's a lot of people I don't care about that have guns to Rick's head, and I don't know who these people are. I don't care about you. They kind of lost the Negan character a little bit. But it was just really, I think, I talk about guys with television all the time, the attention span of the audience. The audience wants a immediate payoff. That's what they want. Now, as a writer, you can't give them an immediate payoff because you got to do some storytelling. You got to build some characters. But there's got to be a balance. There has to be a balance. And this gang warfare, it went on way, way, way too long for me. Like I said, all of a sudden there are hundreds of people. I don't know who they are. I don't know who's shooting at who. And bro, you lost me. That's it. I am done watching The Walking Dead. As a television viewer, you pushed me to the point of I don't care anymore. You got away from the individual characters. You got away from the storylines. And it literally just turned into gunfire. I've been watching gunfire for the last 4 hours. I don't even know whose building they're in. I don't know what camp they're in. I don't know who's driving what vehicle. They all look alike. You remember the movie The Warriors? Remember The Warriors? Each group and each faction had a look so you knew who they were. Bro, they all look alike. So I don't know who belongs to which faction. I don't know who's on our side, who's not on our side. I don't know who's driving what vehicles. I got very confused. Now, I know I'm a 60-year-old man. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. But, bro, maybe one episode of this is okay. One episode is it, bro? I've gone through 3-4 hours of warfare. Not interested. You lost me, bro, and I was close to the finish line. I believe there's only 9 seasons right now of The Walking Dead. I was at the finish line. And guys, this is what relates to wrestling. This is why, bro, if it's bad, I'm going to turn it off. Unless I have to watch it. What I mean by have to watch it is if my job depends on it. So that's what I'm here to tell you, bro. I don't just turn off bad wrestling. Good television shows lose me. This show lost me. Potts, I'm sorry. You lost me, bro. I hung in there for as long as I could. Now I got to go on to the next thing. And I'm kind of debating what that is. Now, I know there was a lot of hoopla about Breaking Bad, which I never have seen. I heard nothing but great, fantastic things about Breaking Bad. That may be next. But for all you Walking Dead fans out there, bro, no disrespect. I hung in there for 8 seasons. The finish line was right there. Everybody's talking about now there's a new faction, the Whisperers. That's good and interesting. Bro, you didn't get me to the Whisperers, bro. You didn't get me to the Whisperers. So now I'm not going to see about these Whisperers. So next I may be setting my sights on Breaking Bad. Let's see what this is all about. That's it, everybody. Listen, I want to encourage you guys. Check out russosbrand.com. Also, check out patreon.com/Russo TWC. Dozens of different podcasts on those networks with people you know, important people, integral people in the wrestling business. You know who they are. And you get some really good shows. I'm a part of those shows. Some shows they do on their own. And we talk, obviously, about other things besides wrestling. As a matter of fact, today, with the great Stevie Ray of Harlem Heat, we're going to talk about Hank Aaron. And then from Hank Aaron, I'm going to talk about the home run record. And then from the home run record, I'm going to talk about steroids. And then from that, I'm going to go to steroids in wrestling. I want to see how Stevie Ray feels about this. These are some of the types of conversations we have. So, guys, that's it. Walking Dead fans, I'm sorry, bro. I wanted to go all the way through with this. You lost me. But I tried, and there were some things I liked. But now it's time to move on. That is it, everybody. I finally got around to. I'll see you next time.